Welcome to Hello Chaos, a weekly podcast exploring the messy and chaotic minds and lives of founders, entrepreneurs, and innovators. Every week, we talk to founders from different industries at various stages of all shapes and sizes. We hear the real, the raw, the unbiased founder stories. It's why our mantra is where aha meets oh shit. We drop new episodes every Sunday. Founders tune into us for tips, insights, and strategies on growing their business or ways to be better owners and leaders, or to find a community of like-minded and mission people and no longer feel alone. HelloCast is one of the many resources brought to you by OrangeWIP. That is OrangeWIP, WIP for work in progress. OrangeWIP is a multimedia company dedicated to serving founders and entrepreneurs in affiliate cities. We've designed hyperlocal media platforms to inform, inspire, and be the independent connective tissue between founders and their entrepreneurial ecosystem. Our innovative digital zines are an all-in-one content hub with fresh and engaging stories, curated calendars, and local dynamic roadmaps to help founders navigate those local ecosystems with ease. We've really done all the hard work for founders, so they only need to go to one trusted place to find the local information they need. We're in 3 South Carolina cities today, looking to expand to cities across the country because every city that has entrepreneurs and founders needs an OrangeWIP. This is Jennifer Sutton. My friends and family call me JJ. I am the founder of OrangeWIP and Bright Marketing, and I'll be your host today. So welcome to Hello Chaos. Welcome to Hello Chaos. Today we have Rebekah Jensen with us. She is the founder of Sanara Skincare. Yeah. Thank you for coming on to Hello Chaos, and welcome out of Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, so Rebekah, just start us out and tell us about how did you become an entrepreneur? How did you come to start your company, your skincare line?
Yeah, it started not intentionally, to be honest with you. It wasn't something that I sought out to become an entrepreneur. I've worked healthcare for 16 plus years, 11 of which was for the actual manufacturing company of healthcare equipment. And I've done that for 11 plus years. And so, I went into the healthcare piece where I was actually bedside and, with the patient and helping them in that capacity. And then as I went and worked for the manufacturer, I got introduced to business.
Yeah.
I got introduced to marketing and sales. And I also realized that nobody knows what they're doing. Yeah. So let me try that too.
That's right.
And so,
what was the equipment? What was the manufacturing equipment?
So ultrasound. I would just go for ultrasound, and I worked clinically I was the person that would scan moms for their babies and things like that, and I love that. And then working for them, I went and worked for the manufacturer of ultrasound equipment. So I was able to learn about marketing, sales, business. Nobody knows what they're doing, even these huge conglomerates, and I was a bit unhappy because, I can take a lot when it comes to chaos or people not knowing what they're doing. But the lack of empathy and, it was just very dissatisfied in my position. There was no opportunity for growth. And I am a very growth-oriented person. And so I started in my kitchen just playing. I have psoriasis. And so it started at a curiosity, wanting to create products for myself. And, at the time and even still today, the only thing you could buy for someone with psoriasis or eczema is at Walgreens, and didn't make me feel beautiful or special in any way. And with the job that I had, I didn't feel special in any way. They certainly didn't make me feel appreciated. So it was my way of appreciating myself, I think.
Through taking care of your skin. I love it.
Yeah.
So that's all. So you just started experimenting with different, what were you experimenting with? How did you start with what products and ingredients? How did you know what you wanted to use? And
where I
Yeah.
started. So I started with soap
Okay.
making, and yeah. So my sister-in-law is very crafty, and she started making soap, and I was like kind of curious, but also kind of not, because I'm thinking I can just go to the store and get soap. Why would I spend all this
And
money,
time.
for 80? Yeah, a dollar something per bar of soap. I'm now spending $20-$30 per bar of soap just trying to make the
Yeah.
soap, but it sparked my the love of science. That's why I went into healthcare. So chemistry that came into it. And then what it sparked as well that I didn't know I had at the time was my creativity and my artistry.
Ah,
And that was really sparked through soap making. And I was using any and every ingredient at the time because I was just, gobbling all the information up. There's different properties with different ingredients. And so, all that information, I was just eating it up and I loved that. And then, it really evolved into creating these mind and body care rituals. And then, as I was looking at the market, of course, I put my business goggles on. And I'm like, okay, I think I want to do this, but how am I going to set myself apart? Because everyone is making bars of soap and
right.
things like that, and that's when I noticed that Latin American botanicals. I'm Latina. I'm born and raised Texan, so there's a term for us that called it Tejana, and noticed that nobody was representing me, not only from psoriasis but from a culture standpoint as well. So that's where I knew where my
And
place
then
was.
in your skincare line, isn't there a meaning that's a Latin
Yeah.
meaning or a Latina meaning?
Yeah. So Sanara, it comes from the Spanish word sanara. So if you had an accent on the last
Sanara.
A,
Okay.
mean sanara.
Okay.
Exactly. It means you will heal.
That's beautiful. That is so
Yeah.
beautiful. And
Thank
your
you.
packaging
I
is
felt,
beautiful. Did you do
thank
that
you.
too? Or did
Thank
you?
you. I
Oh my goodness.
did. Yeah. I did it through Canva, believe it or not.
Wow. I mean, it does
Yeah.
stand out. It's so nice.
Thank
And the,
you. The biggest compliment is when people are like, "I love your packaging," because like I said, I came from science. I come from healthcare. I didn't know I was artistic and creative until I just started
yeah.
playing, and that was the fun
So,
part.
um, what have you learned about? So you've learned artistry, creativity, and
Yeah,
that there's creativity in science, right?
yeah,
Because
absolutely, yeah.
my background, I'm marketing, so I love it. Like, yes, even
Hmm.
big companies. Yes, I can tell you, we have a sister company called Bright Marketing. We work with a lot of big companies. They they're not everybody is brilliant when it comes to branding and marketing and advertising. It's still a struggle. It's not just the
Yeah,
small guys.
sure.
It's still like
Yeah,
the big guys.
yeah.
Um, but my favorite quote that I've been because marketing is a blend of art and science. But
Yes, it
uh,
is.
I don't know.
Voodoo too.
Yeah, and and what is it? Creativity is intelligence having fun. I don't know who said it, but it's my
Yes.
favorite
Um,
quote.
was it
I think it
Einstein?
might be Einstein. Yes,
I
but
think
yeah, creativity is
so. Yeah.
intelligence
I
having
love it.
fun. So there you
Ah, I
great.
love that.
Um, so if you had to sum up your entire journey in one word, what would that journey be?
Mm. It's a good question because there's so many roller coasters to entrepreneurship, and it's like, do I want to throw out the baby with the bathwater or what? And I don't want to do that because entrepreneurship has taught me so much. And I would say the one word is enlightening.
Oh, I like it. We have
Yeah.
not had that word yet. No, we're good. Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Celebration.
I did it. Yay! No, honestly, that's because when I first thought about that question, I'm like, dang man, because there's some roller coasters down, up, and sometimes you do just want to pack it up and go
Yeah,
home, but I couldn't do that. Sanara's taught me so much. Entrepreneurship has taught me so much, and so that's the
that's a
best word
great
for
one.
me to
Enlightenment.
sum it up.
Enlightenment. Um, So, okay, you talked about the roller coasters and the ups and downs. We call them the ahas and the oh
Yeah.
shit moments. What was like your biggest? I know there's been many. I mean, I've got my stories too. I've got some
Sure.
those war marks that we have. But for you, what was the
Yeah.
biggest like that oh shit, that big challenge, that wall that you hit, and how did you overcome it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, my first one was, I started in my kitchen in 2017 playing, and then it became something, I would say
Okay.
2018, to where I was like, okay, this is going to become something. Then I launched my Tranquila collection. Tranquil in Spanish is what that
Spanking.
is. Um, November 2019. 2 months, that 2 months or 4 months
Yeah,
before
four
COVID.
months. Yeah, you launched actually
Yeah.
probably a good time, and then hit the
Well, it
wall.
was. Yeah. It's funny because I launched November 2019. And, I launched it to the spa market, which is the hospitality
Yes.
industry,
Oof.
which took a 70% hit in the market. Nobody was
No.
buying. I had gone to a trade show that January. So November, January, I went to a trade show, was ready to take off. I had like 10 spas ready to open up with Sanara because I'm truly doing something that nobody else is doing in the spa industry with Latin American botanicals and knowledge and practices and all those things. And so everyone was intrigued, and, spas ready to be shaken
Right.
up as an industry, to be more inclusive as an industry as well. And
Especially in your in
then
your area,
March,
Texas and New
yeah,
Mexico, like all through that
absolutely.
region. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And so people were looking without knowing they were looking for
Yeah.
something. They found Sonara, and then March, what was it, 13th or
March
14th?
13th, it all came crashing.
Yes,
Friday the 13th.
it all came crashing. That's right. It was
Hmm.
Friday the 13th. I never put
I
that
know. I
together.
know. We had a couple of clients. We had three like campaigns ready to launch on the Monday the 16th, and we all kind of regrouped. And on Friday the 13th, we were like, we're gonna have to cancel. We're gonna have to, like all these campaigns are gonna have to we're gonna have
Yeah,
to pull them,
yeah,
and pivot,
yes,
which we yeah
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I know.
So
But it was a good time, to be honest with you, because I felt like, I'm a bootstrapping founder. I don't have
yeah
investment. I've been building Sonara alongside my day job, working corporate. And so for me, it felt like, because all the beauty brands at that time were like
yeah
growing exponentially. And I was just trying to, I'm just building a
right.
brand, and I'm like trying to catch up. And it felt, the world slowed down, the world stopped, and I felt like I could
Uh,
breathe
and
because I knew nobody was
right.
growing. You know what I
And then you're
mean?
like, let me see where I need to
It's,
do this.
yes, exactly. So I did some pivoting. I actually continued to send product out to buyers because it was a time for me to test product market
Oh
fit,
yeah. And what did
and
you
that's what
learn?
I
Did you
did.
learn anything? Was anything kind of an aha moment during those times of like, ooh, I never would have guessed this about the market or our product?
Yep,
Tell me about that. Yeah.
definitely. The biggest thing was the rebranding that I needed to do. As you talked about my
Yeah.
packaging, how beautiful it is, and it is. But that is Sonara like 3.0, 4.0. So the biggest advice I got from buyers, because I knew I wanted to be in the
Yeah.
luxury space. I wanted to be in Four Seasons, Omni, Auberge Resorts, all those. And it was, we love what you're doing, but you need to update your packaging, and my packaging was not meeting luxury beauty
Yeah.
standards, which I didn't
Right.
know. I come from West Texas. I don't come from
Yeah.
luxury. So, and when you're paying what you can pay at
Right.
the time, as you're bootstrapping, that's what I could afford. And so at that point, honestly, that November, I had gotten into Four Seasons Vale. He's a godsend for me. That was if it wasn't for his name's Zach, if it wasn't for Zach, who saw what I was doing and believed in what I was doing, I don't know that Sonara would be
You
here
had a
today.
champion. Fantastic.
I had a
Nice.
champion. And so when I got that feedback, it gave me the confidence to invest in that rebrand because didn't come cheap.
No, it does not.
Yeah.
But
no,
but it doesn't come cheap for a reason. There's a value there that you get
That's
experienced
right.
people that really understand the color schema and how to do like visual art to resonate and look like a luxury brand.
Yeah.
That matters.
Right.
Um,
It's so
and
true.
you're not going to find them on
So
Fiverr.
true. No. No,
So
you will not. That's when I started doing my own design because I had hired a few designers, and I couldn't explain what I
yeah,
wanted because I didn't know what I wanted, and it was only when I got on
yeah.
Canva and started playing, I'm like, ooh, I feel like I'm pretty good design wise as far as decorating my room and all the things. But am I schooled in design? No. And so it was another opportunity for me to
Right.
play and see what I could
And then
create.
and then just continue to test that with your buyers,
Yep.
and that you
Yes,
listened, right? That you
I did.
listen to the because we've got people,
It's true.
we've worked with clients that are I'm not going to take that, like, you need to, that's feedback, that's input, that's information, it's a data
Absolutely.
point.
It's important.
And
Yes.
some data points you can kind of go nope, but
Right.
when it becomes
Yeah.
overwhelming,
Thanks, but no thanks.
that's right.
Yeah.
uh,
Yes.
so what was that, like, another aha moment during your testing and your journey?
The next aha moment. So that was in, 2019. COVID happened in March 2020. I'm trucking along through that rest of the year with my rebranding, getting feedback from buyers. And in March, wow, like I'm just thinking about it, a year after COVID, because it was March
Wow.
17th, just a few days
Wow, almost
after
like a
COVID shut
year.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't realize that until I said that. So a year and 2 or 3 days later, I was diagnosed with breast
Oh,
cancer for the first time.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was another. Honestly, because that whole year before, I worked so hard with the redesign and blood, sweat, and tears. Because even while you're doing the redesign, you're still trying to
That's
sell
right.
yourself in the
That's right. Well, you're
meantime.
wearing
You're
15
still
hats, 20 hats, every hat.
exactly. And yes, absolutely. And so my first breast cancer diagnosis was when I
Mm.
surrendered. I surrendered. And
How early did they catch it
because,
early? The,
yeah, and it was, interestingly enough, after I've reflected on this, because when you live it, you're just
yeah.
living it. I had created my own rituals, as I
Mm.
had said, my mind and body care rituals. So I was really looking to reconnect with my body, my mind, my spirit, all the things that I feel like corporate life sucks
Yeah.
out of you, or not even corporate, just life in general sucks out of you. The busy life, all the things we forget to reconnect with ourselves. And so Sanara had really become about reconnecting with myself. And with that, I had created many rituals. And one of them was my monthly ritual of awareness, which is where I checked my own
Okay.
breast,
Just
as
know your
each woman
body.
should. And
Yeah.
to be honest,
Know your
know
body.
your body. And it was through discovering a lump in my breast. And mind you, I have ultrasound
Right.
experience. So I have that science background. I knew what I
Mm.
was feeling was not right, was not my normal. And so, from there, I'm like, okay, I need to go see my family doctor. I need that referral to do this because,
That's
with our
right.
healthcare system, you can't just go, you have to go through the process. And so I knew the
Right.
process. And so went to my family doctor. She referred me over to imaging to go get things scanned. And actually, it was caught
Mm.
so early, stage 0, ductal carcinoma in situ. Didn't even know that was a
Yeah.
stage at the time. That imaging did not pick it
Wow.
up, mammo or ultrasound. But because of what I was
But
feeling,
you picked it up.
I insisted on the
Yes.
biopsy. I picked it up.
Amazing.
Yeah. And so again, when you ask me about that word of how I would sum this up, two things I think saved my life: my ultrasound career, and I think Sanara saved my life.
Well, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that's a good lesson for a lot of entrepreneurs. We've talked about this, and a lot of founders, especially female founders, and I've gone through the process too over the last couple of years of, when you're in it and you're in the weeds and you're trying to scale and grow a business. It was a decade before I kind of woke up and was like, I am not becoming more. I need to become more self-aware. I need to become more self-care.
Right. I'm
I'm
not
not
well.
my mindset,
Yeah.
my mindset isn't well, but also my body is not well.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
one of the reasons we wanted to start OrangeWIP and with this podcast, Hello Chaos, is really about
Mm-hmm.
desensitizing what it means to be an entrepreneur and founder, kind of those real truths out there, that it's hard, and that we've
Mm-hmm.
got to normalize and be better at wellness,
Yeah.
as anybody in business. I mean, but I think entrepreneurship and especially and if you're trying to start a company and scale it, there's just some additional pressures, I think, and suicide rate is really
Mm-hmm.
high, and
Mm-hmm.
illness, and
Yeah.
because we tend to. I mean, I've got two other female founders that are battling breast cancer right now. One one is
Mm-hmm.
early, like stage 0, caught it,
Okay.
but she was in the medical, space, kind of had
Mm-hmm. Sure.
more self-awareness and experience
Insight.
and insight
Mm-hmm.
of new,
Mm-hmm.
but the other one literally was just neglect because she was busy being a founder and running a company
Yeah.
and employees and trying to do a lot of stuff, and she skipped
Mm.
2 years of mammograms, and she's
Mm.
stage 4, so it
Oh
is,
gosh.
it's just we've got to
Breaks my heart.
get it out that it's, we've got to take care of ourselves. But I love that you went through the process of not just creating a skincare line but it
Mm-hmm.
also took it almost like an internal process of the
Mm-hmm.
rituals, and it's really more
Yeah.
about the self-care and being very, very aware of our bodies, especially as we age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me more about the rituals of it. Do you bring this as part of your brand and the skincare line
Mm-hmm.
about the teachings of some of these rituals, or is this really just more of like for you personally?
Yeah. Honestly, it was for me initially. And then I discovered through my breast cancer diagnosis, and I have to say, I was diagnosed twice in the
Oh,
last 3 years.
oh,
Yeah, so I thought I had skated through that first diagnosis and went through treatment because it was caught so early. It was a bilateral mastectomy, which, I'm pretty strong. I handled it like a champ and was like, thought that it was
yeah,
behind me. And then December of 2022, a month and a half, no, yeah, about a month and a half after my first diagnoses, well, this is a whole nother story, but I was following my doctor, my plastic surgeon, for about 6 months, trying to get him to listen to what I
ah,
was feeling because it's so rare. First of all, I was 39, no family history, so that
right,
was rare. And so the second was even more rare that it came back. And what it was is that they describe it as much as they try to take the breast cancer or the cells out, think of it
right.
like watermelon, the meat of a watermelon. Some of them get left behind. And, I always I laugh. I have to laugh. I say, I'm a pretty aggressive person. As I said, I'm very growth oriented person. And wouldn't it be true that the breast cancer would be just as aggressive? But let me tell you,
That's
I'm
right.
more aggressive. And so the second time we caught it, it's actually stage 1. So it hadn't
Mm,
gotten to my lymph nodes. That was a year and a half later. But my doctor diagnosed me as stage 2 because it was so aggressive. She wanted to treat me as an
yeah.
aggressive cancer.
So
And so last year I went through chemo, radiation. My hair's growing back. So this is me with my hair growing back. Thank you. It's coming back curly.
Isn't that fun?
So yeah, fun? These rituals. Yeah. Yes, it is. I'm loving it. I'm so excited. I was looking at my hair this morning. And so I've had, self-love has really, it's like, if you want to teach something, life's going to challenge you in it.
That's right.
And so self-love and care has been what I've had to learn through every stage of these last 3 years, whether it's, going bald, to the weight gain that comes with the chemo, to, laying in bed and feeling like you have no energy and all you've ever had your whole life is energy. And so to be kind to yourself, I've had to, it's interesting. Be careful what you wish for. And so I've had to learn these. And so, yeah, these rituals became a part of what I did for myself to get through what I was going through, reflecting back that, oh, wow, it wasn't just, what's interesting is in healthcare, we call them protocols. Right. We have to follow these protocols. But when it comes to self-love and care, it's a ritual.
They should be.
Yeah. It is. Isn't that interesting?
I think we should make them protocols.
Exactly. It seems like it's not just like frou-frou and things you should do. And if you have time to do, no, they're important. That's right. Must-haves. And so these rituals were what I had created for myself with just, a bath to reconnect. I was never a bath person before all this because I didn't have time to have a bath. I was doing this and that and all the things. I'm growing. I'm not here to just rest and relax. And so, yeah, it was the realization of the power of the rituals that you create that allow for the time to have that body knowledge, to trust your intuition, because intuition comes from knowledge that you have, and this knowing that you have inside that you don't know where it's coming from, but you just know, and trusting it. And then advocating for your health. And so,
using that voice.
Those are the three things.
I think there is and maybe
using that voice.
You can bust this myth, but you read, and I've experienced that. It's like, I feel like there's females sometimes aren't heard. Like we usually have to kind of, especially women and
absolutely.
Perimenopausal or, menopause, like going through those phases. Sometimes we're not heard.
Absolutely.
Or it's like, no, I feel this, times. Or it's not textbook.
You have to convince.
And so I don't know.
Yeah.
Fight for your voice to be heard. I've told friends of mine, they're like, well, I think, I just need to ask my doctor again. I was like, or they've ignored me a couple times. I just need to forget about it. I was like, no. You just call them back. Be the pest. It's okay. Yeah. Or you need to find another, then you need to find another doctor. I mean.
That's right. That's right. My second diagnosis, I called my plastic surgeon, and hindsight's 2020. Yes. That's another side story. But for 6 months, I was trying to convince him that I was feeling something. And, finally in December, I said, I want to go into 2023 with this behind me. And I want this out. I don't care if we think it's scar tissue. I want it out. And so I remember even them coming out there. I was like, I know I keep calling you guys, but okay, this time I'm done. Like this, I'm not leaving without this outcome. And then that's the way it is. And I remember as I was walking out of the office that day, the girl, because I had called so many times, she's like, aren't you glad that it got taken out now? And I looked at her because I'm thinking she doesn't I was like, yeah, I'm so glad I can finally put this to bed. Because if you can't put something to bed,
you cannot move on.
You can't move on.
And it's a burden. It feels like it's like a weight that just can't get rid of. Yeah.
No. Well, and the doctor, because he knew that I'd been trying to get him to do this for 6 months, when he called me, he was heartbroken. I could hear it.
It should be a lesson
voice.
Learned for him, too.
And he said, I think it was. I really think it was. And he said, your persistence saved your life.
Good. That should be. Yeah. You need to make a T-shirt. Put that on there. Persistence saves lives. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's been, your journey? What's been the most rewarding aspect? Now, obviously, you're here, you're healthy, you've
Yeah.
got your, your skincare line is thriving. But what's been the most rewarding part?
Thank you. Gosh, the most rewarding. Honestly, when I get
Hmm.
to tell my story, and so one of the funnest parts of my job, one, I created it, like, holy crap. It was an idea, it was a thought, and here I am, come what may. And when I open up a new spa, meaning when I, get into a new spa, they're carrying my products. One of my funnest things is I get to train the therapist because they have to know, again, I have to teach them the
Yeah.
protocols on how to use the products. And I also get to teach them about me as a brand founder, how it came to be, the ingredients, and all those things. That is my favorite part and most rewarding, because I know therapists, massage therapists, and even like sonographers, we're when it comes to, the totem pole of business, we're at the bottom. I know what it's like.
Yeah.
I've been there, and that's where honestly I feel most comfortable, and I feel like those are my people. And so I get to train them, I get to tell them, I get to inspire them, and they're healers. And therapists are giving of their bodies, and so I create products with them in mind. And so I really love that part, is being able to create products for the unseen
Oh my
person.
goodness.
And
Do you
that's been really
connect in that
fun.
way? Is that part of
Yeah.
your story when you kind of like, hey, I relate, I was you, I'm like, I see you.
Yeah.
Is that part of
Yeah.
your story when
Yeah.
you,
Not necessarily, only because I don't know how they'll take it. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, what do you mean? I didn't know this. But no, but it's more like, I see you because I create products for you.
Uh,
I know what your pain points are in the day. And if you can if you can use products that make you love your job, that the meaning behind it, because the energy that they transfer to their clients. And so I know if they're using products that they love to use, that they feel a part of, then that energy just gets transferred. And so in a way, I do, but not like that, because
yeah.
I don't know how they'll take it. But I certainly get where they come from.
That's just, I think that's special. I think they need to be a part of your story in an appropriate way so that you can connect.
Sure. Yeah. Maybe you can help me with that with your marketing.
We will stay in touch.
I love it.
So if you could pick two things that you would change about your business today, what would those two things be and why?
Two things that I would change. I would change the speed of a sales transaction, the sales cycle. That is for sure.
How long is your sales cycle? I imagine it's B2B, so it's got to be
B2B. Yeah, it can. It could
Okay.
take up to a year. I have somebody that I'm speaking to. We've been talking for 2 years now, because they started talking to me during construction phase of the spa. And so that is something I didn't know when I went into the spa market. Spa people are on spa time. And so it takes a hot minute to get through to that end process. And so that's one thing I would wish was a little bit quicker, because, I could grow a little bit faster. But, you throw in COVID, and so who knows what the real world's like, so that didn't help for sure. Let's see. Gosh, another thing that I would change, that is definitely one. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I would change. I wish I had a co-founder,
Really?
to be honest with you.
Tell me more. Tell me why.
Because this is hard. It's really, really hard. And I've had investors, I've presented Sanara to investors, and they're like, you need a co-founder. And I'm like, do you not think I've tried to find one?
Versus finding a business officer, an employee, but an actual shared partnership?
shared part. Well, mostly because I can't pay them.
So
you know what I mean?
Come on
so yeah,
and be a part of the business. You'll get your reward.
Be a part. Yes, when you help grow Sanara, then you'll get paid. That's, that is something I wish, but you know what? I have to trust in the universe, and I have to trust in the situation that I'm in. I heard a quote last week which really helped me because, as of yesterday or last week, you wonder if as a founder, every day it's touch and go. You know what I mean? And so there was a quote I heard from Phil Knight, the founder of Nike. He said, isn't he amazing? Don't stop till you get there, and don't pay any mind to where there is.
Right. Oh, I love him. I use Nike a lot when I'm trying to get people excited and inspired about brand strategy and doing it right. And really creating a vision that people can and make it clear and motivational. But yeah, he is fantastic. Say that again, because that is a great quote.
Yeah, it's he said, "Don't stop till you get there, and don't pay any mind to where there is."
I love it.
Because and I can resonate with that so much, because where I thought I would be, there is not where I am today. And breast cancer, COVID, all these things get thrown in your face. And, in a perfect world, I would have started my business. I would have skyrocketed. I'd be a millionaire. I'd be at all these spas.
But
that wasn't the case.
Entrepreneurship too. I think that's where, we try to debunk those myths that people are like, oh, I start this business and I'm going to be a millionaire in like 3 months. And it's like, I call it, there's some entrepreneurs that get into it and it's like the job of chasing money versus working on the business. There's that balance. And I'm like, well, if you guys are spending all this time a year just going to every pitch, doing, working every, VC, PC firm. I'm like, you guys aren't even like working your business and trying to sell to the customers or understanding product market fit, or like balance that time and energy. What could you have done if you would have taken that and just worked the market to build it organically and then go and pitch for money? But there's like, I think there's this myth of like, I'm going to start it and I'm going to be flooded with, and it's like, that only happens. That's like 1%, maybe 3% of hundreds and thousands of us out there. The rest of us we're bootstrapping it. we're
we
slow
live in
climb.
the real world, our world.
You got to
exactly.
But it's fun. At the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, and I would have to say, if Sanara had grown that way, I think of as a person, right? When you have no struggles, you have no depth.
Yeah.
And so I feel like as a brand and as a person, there's, from Sanara's standpoint, I've had nothing but an uphill battle. But there's so much depth to Sanara. As far as a persona, what she has had to overcome, what I have had to overcome, it wouldn't have come. It wouldn't be if it were easy.
And I don't think anybody. I mean, I've talked to thousands of founders and startup, like nobody. Like, it is a myth of these. And if you hear any of those stories, it's because they were handed a silver spoon. They were, they came from very privileged backgrounds. It is not the norm.
Absolutely.
The norm is it's a lot of heartache, a lot of sweat, brain sweat, and it brings a lot of depth to people. And I think those are the ones that really survive, because we aren't. It's like we've become radical empathizers. And I think a lot of it is where we see the world out there a little bit differently, but then. And it might take, some oh shit moments, but then it comes back and self-reflection on ourselves to go,
absolutely.
I need to grow. Like you gotta grow.
I wouldn't take any of that back.
It's either I just got I don't call them failures. I mean, to me, there are no failures in entrepreneurship, in founder journeys. They're just lessons.
Absolutely.
So, if we met then a year from now, I'm gonna come down to Austin.
Yeah.
We're gonna walk on 6th Street. Let's do it. What would we be celebrating?
A year from now, we would be celebrating. So I'm still going through the treatment phase of breast cancer because my breast cancer is so aggressive. I'm on this medication that I have to take for 2 years. I've got one more year.
Let's celebrate the end of that.
Yes, that's what we're celebrating. To be honest with you, I wish I could say, where Sanara will be in a year. I couldn't tell you. I know she'll be here still. But I know from my health standpoint, I'll have come out of 5 years of intense fighting for my life, fighting, with chemo, all those things. And that is what I look forward to celebrating.
Well, I might take a trip to Austin just to do that with you. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah, I'd love that.
So what do you do on your free time?
I know, because Sanara was what I did on my free time for fun. Honestly, because I have really had to focus on my health, especially as I just mentioned, this medication that I'm taking. I've got 1 more year on. I'm looking forward to this week is a pretty intense week for me. I'm actually starting my own podcast on Friday, which I'm kind of excited about. Well, very excited and very nervous about. It's called the Breast Cancer Chronicles. So I'm going to interview other women who've gone through breast cancer.
Well, I'll send you some names.
Yeah.
I will.
Please. I would love that. And so that's a big week. Tomorrow I drive to San Antonio. I'm pitching for a pitch competition, and I signed on 2 more spas this week, which is huge.
You are working it.
So it's a big week for me.
Well, you have lots of things to celebrate.
I am.
We need to celebrate these. There's little mini wins. I think we always forget that even these small little things matter. And we just got to kind of give yourself a pat on the back. 2 new spas you've signed on. Yeah. You're doing a pitch contest and you're starting a podcast. Amazing. Yeah. That is amazing.
I know, all in a week. And so after this week is done, I can wrap my brain, send out some orders, wrap my brain around this whirlwind of this past week. I look forward to the holidays. I look forward to enjoying life. I'm going to Six Flags for Haunted Fest with my family and my nieces and nephews. Fun. I want to do those things again.
I love it. Have you ever been?
Yeah.
It's like a little sidebar. Have you ever been to Universal Studios? I always think for the holidays. I'm telling you, it's the most amazing Halloween experience. If you like Chandler's, like, I've never been there, but it is so much fun. But I the Six Flags, and then something was it Carowinds up here? They do Scarowinds.
Oh, fun. I love this season. Holidays are coming up.
Favorite.
Halloween.
I do a huge deck out my house. I get, my kids, there's 30 kids that come over. We all, even adults, we dress up. It's fun. It's my favorite holiday. Besides, it's like Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. My boom, boom, boom. My 3. But I like Halloween over Thanksgiving. Like Thanksgiving is it's
I could see that.
We usually travel.
Good for food and family.
Like 2 family.
Okay.
Hardly anybody comes, and we don't host as often. I mean, if we host, it might be every once in 5 years. I love it if I could host every year, but we have so much family that does not. And so when we go back to Indiana, which is where we're from, that's where my in-laws are. There's 70 family members. Okay. So it's like
oh my gosh. It's like a Mexican family. I know what that's like.
Food of these vats of corn and beans, these. There's no cutesy casserole dishes and stuff. No. It's
paper plates because nobody's washing dishes.
And it's mass buffet, and everybody's sitting on the floor.
I love it.
It's, so it is, and it's fun, but I'd bring whatever I can do when I travel. So, like, who needs a big thing of corn that I can dump in a in a tin dish from the grocery store? So but Christmas I go all out, and Halloween is I love Halloween.
Yeah. Well, and so since I've been sick these past, I haven't decorated. I haven't really. So I'm like, I'm decorating this year. I'm doing it, and I love that.
You got cute little hair. You can do some cute little
Thank you.
Little ponytails. You can have fun.
Yeah. I'm ready to live life again.
I'm excited for you.
Thank
so,
you.
I know you've networked, you came from corporate, you're still kind of in that corporate world. Have you gotten really good advice? Like what have other people, the best advice that you've been given, that you've really taken it to heart, and you were like, I'm so glad that this person came into my life to tell me this?
I think the biggest advice, or even compliment or word, was that somebody told me I have something special. And it's easy to not see that, to not appreciate that. And when somebody else, because you think you do, but there's always that validation you're seeking.
It's nice to be seen,
especially in business. It's nice to be seen, especially in business. You don't have a business without that validation. And so knowing that I do, and to keep going, and that I'm resilient, and I know I'm all those things, that has been the greatest encouragement that I could get. And
I think that's a good lesson too of especially other female founders, but just getting into entrepreneurship. I found people like the connection, people like the community, and I think what you're telling me is, we need to be more vocal when we do see people, and make sure that they are seen.
That's right. Yeah.
And pay that forward.
Absolutely.
Because we don't get that validation. It's very isolated and alone sometimes. And we're all sitting there going in a corner sometimes like, I don't know if I'm doing anything right. Or all you hear sometimes is negative. It's like, how do we break that out and lift each other up? I think I'm glad someone did that for you. Now you can do that for somebody else. That's right.
That's right. And I love it. Like, I have the best intern now. And so, I think about all the people I wouldn't know if it wasn't for Sanara, in a whole nother industry that I had to learn about, And so, life is full. And when I think about Sanara and my corporate, we have different versions of ourselves, my corporate version, my entrepreneur, founder. And, when I try to put myself in a little box, I'm like, you know what? I want to do a lot of things in my life. And this is just one piece of of that life that I want to live. And so letting people know that you can be many versions of where you're at that moment and what you're doing, which is really makes life exciting.
And I think we're all we're all like that. We just don't, sometimes those aren't revealed enough. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or we're scared to, or, it's like, it's funny. I had two LinkedIns, one for my founder LinkedIn, and then one for my professional. And, you think, can I combine them? What will this one think of that one? And, it's interesting.
Holistically.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And that's where I want to be, where you get to know all parts of me.
'Cause we're moms, we're wives, we're daughters, sisters, and friends, founders, business leaders. I mean, we wear all those hats. So I'm a big champion of,
and I love them.
Don't complicate your life. Put it all on one. You do not need to have multiple faces.
Well, thank you for that advice, because I'm like, what do I do here now? Because I had let my professional one die for a while, and now I'm bringing it back up, and so yeah, I love that advice. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that, because this I didn't know this founder entrepreneur version of me until Sanara, and now it's me,
all of you, and that's right.
All
I
of
love
me.
it. Well, I'm amazed we're out of time, but before we go, where can people get in touch with you? How can they learn more about Sanara and everything that you do, and the Breast Cancer Chronicles? Like, tell us all the stuff. How can we connect?
Yes. So you can find Sanara on Instagram at Sanara Skincare, Sanara Skincare. That's where I talk all about Sanara and the rituals and products and things that. You can also reach me personally on Instagram, Rebekah Jensen. It's Rebekah, Rebekah. Hasso is my maiden name, Jasso. I kept my maiden name. And honestly, it took me 8 years to take my husband's name because I'm Latina and I married this white guy. And I'm like, do I look like a Rebekah Jensen? No. And it was a piece of my culture I didn't want to give up. And so Rebekah Hasso, which is my maiden name, Jasso, Jensen, which is my married name, Jensen. And find me there. That's where the Breast Cancer Chronicles are going to be. We're going to start this Friday. I'm interviewing another founder. She's of Freedom Deodorant. And so, it's one thing building a business, but doing it while going through breast cancer, it's a whole nother level of resilience. And
I applaud you guys.
Yeah, I really want to showcase these beautiful women.
And for everyone listening or watching us, thank you for joining us. This podcast episode will be available on all podcast platforms. So please subscribe to Hello Chaos. Give us a like, a comment, a share. Help us grow and build a more connected entrepreneurial community. Hello Chaos is one of the many resources brought to you by OrangeWIP. That is OrangeWIP, WIP for work in progress, because that's what we all are. OrangeWIP is a multimedia company dedicated to serving founders and entrepreneurs in affiliate cities. We're in 3 cities in South Carolina, looking to expand to other cities, hopefully Texas. We have got several cities that we are looking at in Texas to expand to, because every city needs an OrangeWIP to connect, to be the connective tissue between all the resources in a community to the founders and entrepreneurs that are there. Just an email to join the community. We are a one-stop content hub just for founders and an innovative digital zine experience. If you'd like to be a guest on our podcast or support us, send us an email to hello@orangewip.com. Y'all, thank you for tuning in to Hello Chaos. It is where aha meets oh shit. See you next week.